Hi, everybody. It's Lori. Welcome to GLP-1 Journey and Review live again. Today we have a couple things to talk about. Uh, First of all, let me tell you who I am. I am a 67. I know I've said 68 in the past. I've been having uh, a math dilemma lately. I took the year, divided it by subtracted it from when I was born, and I forgot that I was born later in the year. So I'm really only 67. I know I've been mentioning that I'm 68, but I'm going to be 68 at the end of the year. So I'm a 67-year-old. I've been overweight pretty much since my 20s. Uh, Several reasons why. I think part of it started, well, I know part of what triggered it when I was younger and right around 20. Um, I was about 5, 6 pounds overweight, nothing major. And my parents made a comment to me that, well, when she gets out on her own, there's no way she's going to make it on her own enough that she's going to be able to feed herself well enough that she'll be overweight. And somehow that triggered me. But gonna go to therapy about that. I'm over it. And I started taking trizepatide since let's see, since December, late December, not last year, the year before. So again, math dilemma. That puts me at 12, like 15 months. I reached my goal about 2 months ago, maybe a couple weeks. And I've been on maintenance ever since. And I've been playing around with the maintenance a little bit. Uh, let's see. It started off originally taking the same 10 that I was on, and then I wanted to drop that. So I went down to 7.5, no problem. I dropped down to 5, and I had a little bit of food noise, so I went back up to 7, and I 7.5, and I kind of stayed there. But I would like to go back down. I'm going to stay at 7.5 for a couple weeks, and then I might just take a little bit less in the syringe and slowly build myself down to 5, 6 and see how that goes. If that doesn't work, I'm going to stay on the 7.5, and then maybe I'll play around with doing it every 10 days or so. We'll have to see. Like I said, this whole maintenance, this whole GLP-1 is a fairly new thing. I know they've had other medications before, but maintenance is it's still trial and error. There is no set maintenance from the companies. Like they have a schedule for when you take it, which I don't agree with their schedule. It's basically increase every month until you're at the max, but that's just so they make more money. But that's a whole nother topic. And hi there, Michael. Thank you for joining us. Uh, I hope you enjoyed live. There's Michael there. Okay, so let's get back to business here. So playing around with the maintenance a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. So I wanted to basically start this live uh, by giving not really a statement, but something that I've want to put out there. Hi there, Carol. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. Uh, okay. Excuse me for reading this, but like I said, it is somewhat of a statement, and I wanted to address the mochi and Akita thing. Now, mochi is still filling orders, and they've changed to other pharmacies. So I'm glad you have mochi. I've had mochi for, 6, 7, maybe 8 months, maybe longer. I'd have to look it up to see exactly when. But so they're still filling orders. They're just using other pharmacies. From what I hear, they're taking the money for the multi-month orders, but I don't know if they're sending them. I have put an order in on the 18th, which is supposedly the day right before that they're supposed to stop selling the tirzepatide as we know it. And I got notification that my order will be here on Tuesday from Empower. They've taken the full amount out of my on my credit card, so I don't know if I'm going to get 1 month and then it's sent every month, or if I am going to get the whole 3 months. But I'll let you guys know on Tuesday when I get it. So we'll see. Uh, and that's how that's going. And I know that they are still taking orders. And like I said, I know they're using Empower. I think they're using Red Rock. Part of some of the problem with that is, and some of the delay is that they have changed their dose numbers, but Red Rock and Empower are still on the 2.5, 5, 7.5, and so on. So they had to change, the provider there had to rewrite the prescription. And I'm going to admit that I am on the highest dose that Mochi made because I'm trying to get a couple of extra uses out of each vial. Not recommended. I'm not recommending it. I'm not a doctor. I will always punch you back to your healthcare provider, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just letting you know. And we got this from Michael here, who is saying that it's only a 1 month. That's what I've heard also. But like I said, they took out the whole 3 month money wise. So they didn't contact me. It would have been nice if they did. And you're on the higher 16 dose also. Because like I said, I'm really basically taking 7.5, so I'm just trying to get some extra uses out of it. I know we're not supposed to do that, but this stuff is expensive, and if there's any way that to save a little money, I'm all for that. So again, I'm not recommending it. I'm just telling you what I do, and I'm very careful with the sterility. I make sure that the counter I use is clean, lots of alcohol, um, and that's it. So let me go on with my statement here. Uh, so I know many of you saw the video out there. I believe it was Lee Fitzen that did the video, who's a lawyer, and he decided he wanted to see the Akita pharmacy. So he went there, and it's surprisingly, it's like in a little business strip mall type of thing. And it is basically not down to the studs, but it is down to the drywall as if they don't even exist anymore. And I have heard that they've pulled their license. I don't know if they had it pulled or they pulled it, which leads me to believe that they're going to come back as another name or something along those lines. Again, this is just my feeling. I don't know this for sure, but it pretty much looks like they've closed up shop, and they showed a little sign on the door basically saying, any deliveries, just send it over to Mochi, who is literally in the same parking lot as them. Now, I wish they would have been a little bit more honest with their connection with Akita. Uh, they may not legally own them. I don't know anything, about how many corporations and so forth they are, but they do share a lot of the um, upper level people in both Mochi and Akita. So that's where we have that. Now I know that they have been asked by a lot of the Mochi reps to be a little bit more transparent, and they have uploaded the findings of all their studies. Now, they did not have, by law, they do not have to test every single batch, but apparently they did, and they have put it up onto their website, and you can look it up by the lot number. I know it's a little bit hard to look it up, and they could have done it a little bit better organized, but my understanding is not one of them have failed, at least in the sterility. There was one fail that I heard of, and that was in the potency, but that was by their standards and not the state standards. It still would pass under state standards. And we also have to keep in mind that no medication has been recalled. So, I have plenty in my refrigerator from Akita. I feel very safe using it. Uh, and I'm going to use it. And I probably will continue with Mochi unless there's other reasons. I'm also kind of curious if this is going to happen to any of the other big pharmacies uh, with their affiliation with telehealth. And you have to kind of, in the back of your mind, I'm not accusing anybody of this or any company of this, but is Big Pharma or FDA behind this? Is this going to keep happening? I wouldn't be surprised if other large pharmacies have the same type of problem or the same thing happen to them. So that's where we stand with that. Now, let's see, I also wanted to put that one. It's very important. Um, it said that their license was revoked, so I guess they didn't voluntarily take it down. I don't know anything about that, but like I said, my opinion, not fact, is it was probably easier for them to just shut the whole thing down and reopen with a new name or something along those lines. So my lot is missing. Uh, you do. I have trust in them, and I think you could call Mochi, the representative, with the lot number, and they could look it up. Is what I'm hearing. So I do like that they are at least doing this. Again, they could have done it a little quicker, and they could have made it a little bit more organized. But at least they're doing it. So to me, that's a good thing. Now, try to find my notes here because this was important. So again, if you're looking it up, check the sterility. That's what we're really interested in, is the sterility, because that's the most important thing. Because for all we know, batches down the line, I think the one that failed was like 96% potent, but like I didn't have any problems, so like I don't think that was the issue. Um, because the pharmacies. Again, I apologize. This because I kind of wrote this. Okay. Now I've noticed um, that some of the companies are going after the creators, okay? And they've had them take down videos due to trademark and infractions. So they haven't done anything to me, but like I can't even say that I'm a small fish in the sea because I'm like a brine shrimp. I'm not even in the fish category. So, but I do know that they have made some creators take some of their content down. Uh, I believe it wasn't Mochi that did this. It was Big Pharma. So your dose was 104. I've seen a couple of those in the report that they're actually more potent than 100%, which that's also very good. So now I know that the content creators have to be careful of how they say, especially with brand names. Uh, we have to be calling it like trizepatide and not made trizepatide, not from Eli Lilly or same thing with semaglutide. So it may sound a little strange, but that's why some of the creators are doing this because they don't want their videos taken down. And I think it's really wrong to go. Most of the creators, even the bigger ones in GLP-1, we're not huge creators. We're not like the Joe Rogan type of million views and so forth on a thing. We're little fish, and like I said, I can't even call myself a little fish. I'm calling myself a brine shrimp. Just a little thing like that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to say about Mochi or Fita. I may repeat it if other people come on here, but pretty much after this live, I'm pretty much done. Moving on. Mochi, still like Mochi, still using Mochi, still like a lot of things about Mochi, and I'm sure some of the other telehealth companies, you know, have a little bit of problems and aren't 100% transparent. But like I said, I do like the fact that Mochi eventually did step up and become transparent. And could have been a little sooner, could have been a little bit more organized. So let's see that in here. So this a lot of this came out in the affiliates meeting. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not even monetized yet. I'm working towards it. And thank you all for coming to the live. Please hit that like, subscribe, and notification button because I'd like to continue giving you this content. And I think a lot of, has to be said. And I urge you all to watch everybody's channel, not just mine, because there's a lot of information and things you need to know. Because this could have been a disaster had there actually been other infractions. So if you're going to change, make sure you do your homework. But another thing I wanted to bring up is like, I can't even go through Facebook without all these ads, of these companies that are trying to sell out of whatever tirzepatide that they have. And I've looked them up. Some of them have only been in business for 4 or 5 months. And is it worth it? Are they real? I've seen a lot of, definitely fake ads come up, that I tried to do a little research and couldn't find anything on it. So please be aware of this. Please be careful. Do the research. I think Priority Meds is the one that keeps coming up. I think they've been in business like 7 months or so. So, like, if you're going to buy this 6 months or the year, like they're asking, telling to you, if they're out of business in another month, who are you going to go to if you don't get it all? And like I said, they don't have a very good rating. And top it off, they're only like $20 a month less expensive than Mochi. So, I would rather go with a big name and somebody that I trust and somebody that I've worked with before. But, that's just me. So I want you to be very careful. I've read that a lot of the other creators have had to take people out of their group for trying to sell fake medication. So, if you're not going to stick with these big companies, which I really think you should, if you're with the big three, I don't think you have anything to worry about. What's going to happen with the tirzepatide? Again, we know that they're mixing it with B vitamins and supplements that supposedly won't make you as nauseated and things like that. I'm going to put this up here because this is important. Sorry, I just got a new mouse and it's not calibrated yet, so I apologize for this delay. Okay. Don't use Facebook. That's it. Don't trust your medical to Facebook. Facebook is not your doctor. Facebook should not be your healthcare provider. Facebook is looking for trouble. So, using it. So, again, be very careful. I can't stress that enough because everybody's safety and health is number one concern for me, hopefully for you. And, that's where we stand now. Trying to see if there's anything else I have to say on that. So, like I said, a couple of the creators have kicked people off of their groups because they were trying to sell fake medication. So, if you're not going to stick with the big three, which it's not time to panic that much yet, be very careful. And, sometimes you see these bargains, it's a little bit hard to pass them up, but remember, it's your health. We don't want to see anybody get hurt or worst case scenario, very seriously injured or even not alive. So again, just be very careful. And that's what I have to say about that. So again, I just wanted to say that I am still trying to figure out maintenance. I had one person suggest that I try microdosing, and I'm not really sure about that. I've actually had one person suggest it. They are a doctor. They're not my doctor, so they don't know me well. As a matter of fact, it's not their specialty at all. It was a radiologist because my main job is in imaging, and they're like, "Oh, microdosing is the way to go," where basically, like, you would take part of your dose on Monday, part of it on Wednesday, and maybe part of it on Friday, or something along those lines. But To me, if I was hungry on 5, you know, and had food noise on 5, and plus you're not getting the full effect. I'd rather try to go down, and if I can't go down any lower, stretch it out, because all the studies have basically been done on the full dose, and we know that half-life is 5 days, and you have the medication in your system for about 30 days. So, keep that in mind. And then somebody said, "Oh, well, you could start by taking your full dose, and then every 3 days take half a dose." And like I said, I know people have done that, and hopefully they've had luck. And if it works for them, I'm not at the point where I'm going to try that, because so far 7.5 has been fine with me. I mean, I do want to get it cut down, just like any medication. Of course, you want to get to the lowest dose possible, and take it as little as possible. I don't want to totally go off of it, even though I have learned a lot, because 70% of people gain their weight back. That's just statistic, and to me, that's awful odds. I'm not going to go with those odds, so that's just me. I'm me, you're you. Again, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not a doctor. Um, Again, maintenance is pretty tricky. I know there's a couple of creators out there on maintenance, and I'm also following them. As long as you want to lose, stay on the higher dose. Again, I don't want to lose anymore. That's basically what maintenance is, but I don't, I want to stay the same. And I'm doing that on 7.5. So like my next thing would be to try to drop maybe 6.5, something like that. And if that works, great. And that's one of the things with the trizepatide that you could get from Mochi or Join Fridays or anything, is you have a little leeway in what you draw up. Again, if that doesn't work, then I may extend a day. But if I have to stay on 7.5 every week, I'm okay with that. And I'll admit, with this 19th deadline that just passed, a little bit of panic buying. I now have about 9 months in my refrigerator. Um, I think the latest date that I have is just end of December for the bud date. And I do not suggest this for anybody else, but I am not afraid to use a medication that's stable like this a little bit past the bud date. And again, if it's only 90 some percent effective, I should be fine with that. It's a very stable medication, and it's not that it's going to really hurt you, as long as it's still clear and it's never been frozen and it's kept at the temperature it's supposed to be kept at. Shouldn't be a problem. Uh, Again, like I'll admit, I have used aspirin and even other medications past the expiration date and been fine. If it was years past it, I don't know, but that's not the case. Be interesting to see what the new bud date that they're sending out is. And it's funny because like a while ago on Orderly, when they first started doing the multi-month vials, I did order 4 vials from them, and they weren't ready for it, and it took forever, and it wasn't a fun experience, which is basically why I switched to Mochi, because they were just too busy, and it took like 6 weeks to get the medication and all that kind of stuff. The funny thing is that's the medication that I'm using right now, because I'm trying to go. I thought I was going, basically I was going in order that I bought it, figuring that's when the bud date was, and I looked at the bud date, and their bud date is in December. So now I'm going to switch and find the next bud date that's out there and use that one. I thought it was very funny because the last thing I got from Mochi, the 3-month supply, which I did an unpacking video if any of you want to see it, is 3 months, That's basically 12 weeks, and they gave 6 syringes and 6 alcohol wipes. Fortunately, I have extras from Amazon, and always a good idea to have extras because one time I was drawing it up, and I guess I pushed the needle in too hard and I bent it, and I came out, and the needle was kind of like all bent, and I'm like, yeah, you know something? I'm just going to put it in a different syringe because I don't know how that's going to feel puncturing that in myself. So I switched it. You know, it's always good to have some extras. Plus, like I said, I've dealt with the. I think Orderly did the same thing, and I'm sure any of them that have the, or I should say, had the multi-month vials that they could send out. You know, probably did the same thing. You know, like I said, they're cheap enough to get on Amazon. You could get them at CVS, Walgreens. Uh, Also wanted to say that's going to probably be the end of our little thermos things from Mochi. I haven't really figured out what to do with mine yet, but then I thought, well, maybe I could use it when I go on vacation because I could. My wife who uses Monjero name brand in the pen because she's a type 2 diabetic. Um, I could put that in there. I could put my vials. I could put syringes and the little ice thing. But I already have a carrying case that'll do all that anyhow. Then I've heard that people sometimes, uh, and it's not a bad idea to put your old syringes in there, but remember, it's not a sharp container. I guess it's better than throwing them in the garbage, but that's not the proper way to do it. I'm sure if you look up, you could find a place that you could drop it off. But I'm going to do that with mine because working in imaging, I have in my CT scan room because I start a lot of IVs. I have 3 9-gallon red sharp buckets. So, but it's a good way to transport it and then dump it in there, and then I can clean it out, bring it home, and use it for the same thing again. I know people say that they can use like old milk cartons or plastic, anything plastic, any glass jar, like a spaghetti sauce jar will work. Uh, the main thing is to not have the needle out showing, but yes, you are supposed to put it in a red bin. Some fire departments have the red bin. You can look it up in the area. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to do that. That's the proper way. Does everybody do it the proper way? You know, like I said, at least if you're not going to do it the proper way, get it covered in something. And glass could break. That's why I don't really recommend the spaghetti jars. But you know, the old plastic milk carton, uh, that'll work. Again, not recommending it, but it's better than somebody accidentally sticking themselves. So, any of you out there have any questions? Priority head reconstituted. Don't use Facebook. As long as you want to stay on the higher dose. You're working on your visceral fat. How are you working on your visceral fat? I'm doing a lot of exercises for that. I've also been doing some cool sculpting, which is supposed to help and also help with the skin tightening. I think I have another appointment with them either next Sunday or the Sunday after, and they're gonna do an interview. Let me do an interview and explain how they could help people that have lost all this weight and uh, what they could do. They're going to also give me my before pictures when I started and my after pictures from Sunday. Uh, I think I have enough nerve that I could post them. So, you know, that's one thing that this YouTube is why I'm doing it is because one, I'm a very shy person and it's kind of like putting me in a little bit of an uncomfortable zone, but you need that once in a while. Plus, I know there's a lot of people like me that don't really know a lot about this medication and I've learned a lot over the year. And if anybody could, you know, learn something from what I've learned, all to it, you know, all the power to it. I'm all for that. I think that's great. And you know, plus it's going to keep me honest and you know, make sure that, you know, I don't gain any of the weight back or anything like that. It's going to make me stick to it more. Not that I have any plans not to, but you know, it's part of the reason. I was actually inspired from a YouTuber that uh, I know. not very well, but I know, but she lost about 250 pounds. And I think when she got to the point where she lost 200 pounds, she said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. So when I got to near my goal weight, I'm like, hey, not a bad idea. And, it's keep me honest, give me something to do. And hopefully I could pass on some knowledge. She's a fairly big YouTuber, so I don't know if I do want to do an interview on her. When I get a little bit bigger, she might do it. She probably would anyhow, because like we've been in contact quite a bit through messaging and uh, through Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna wait till I get a little bit bigger because she's pretty busy and pretty big YouTuber. Speaking of YouTube, there was Joe Rogan a couple days ago had God, what was his name? Well, it was the last Joe Rogan where they had a little bit where they were talking about the GLP-1 medication, and of course, they're saying, "Yeah, it's the easy way," and yeah, but I don't look at it that way. I have seen people that have used this as the easy way. I have a relative that only needs to lose about 10, 12 pounds, and basically it's the easy way because they don't want to change anything that they eat or anything. But it's what you put into it, and to me, it made it possible. And through lack of any other words, I'm going to say it made it easier because I didn't have the food noise. And I didn't even know what food noise was until it was gone. And, because every other diet, it's like, I'm like, oh, am I constantly going to be hungry? Am I going to be able to stick to it? Here I am eating all these raw vegetables that, some I like, some I don't, I was eating them more than I really wanted to. And it's like, you can't stick to a lifestyle like that. The second you go off it, of course, you're going to start gaining back. You need to have something that you could stick with and make that lifestyle change. And this medication makes it possible. So again, they were like, why would anybody want to lose weight naturally when, if you're going to lose weight, they're going to accuse you of being on the medication anyhow. So why not just do it and do it the easy way rather than, put the sweat in the gym? And, again, some people just don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, just ignore people like that and, you be you. And like I said, on YouTube, I've learned to ignore people. I've learned to ignore bad comments. Some people don't like me because of my voice. Some people don't like me because I'm gay. Haven't, run into that much, but that's, the way it is. Report bots because YouTube, they do have a lot of them. What do you do for massive vegetables? Low on them. Okay, when I'm low on my vegetables, there's a product called Eight Greens, and it's one that I use. It's a little tablet that you put in some water, and it's supposed to give you all the nutrition of like 5 heads of broccoli and things like that. Now, natural is always better, but when I'm short, especially on shot day when I don't eat as much, I do pop one of those. And one of my subscribers told me that they now make lollipops that are basically sugar free and do the same thing. And she kind of rewards herself with them with that. And, that's great. It's again, the best way to get your nutrients is natural. We all can't do it, especially like on our shot day, especially as we get older. It's harder. And another thing besides your nutrients that's very, very important, hydrate. Hydration helps in so many ways. It helps with so many things. And living in South Florida, most people are dehydrated here just because of the weather without even realizing it. I know, I don't think I drink enough water. I probably drink 4 to 5 of these bottles, which are 16 ounces a day. 2 of them I usually put Element in. Uh, Probably 2 of them I put like a Crystal Light or some sort of thing like that in, and one of them because I just don't really like plain water, but I've been drinking 1 bottle of it regularly, especially since I do part of my workout in a sauna. Uh, I do the electrolytes and some water with that. Uh, I do drink other drinks, like, coffee and tea and things, iced tea. Is that as good? No, but I mean, it is fluid. One of the ways that you could tell if you're dehydrated, when you look at your pee, if it's really yellow, you're not drinking enough water. Uh, so also some of the vegetables and some vitamins could also make it yellow, but basically as a rule, if you're not taking a certain, vitamins and stuff like that, just normally if your pee is pretty yellow, drink more water. It shouldn't be. So now that's what I do. Amino acids, there's actually some in the protein drink that I drink. Uh, Again, I'm trying to cut back on some of the supplements because, like, you could go crazy on supplements. Let's see, but 100 grams of broccoli only has max 5% of amino acids in them. That's correct, but like I said, you could take powders that have amino acids. Does it work? Again, I'm not in, that's not my expertise. I do take a multiple vitamin. Again, I'm trying to cut back on some of the supplements because one time when I was listing all my supplements to my doctor, and they're like, "Are you trying to put somebody's, kids through college by buying all these supplements?" And there were a lot of them. And some of them were duplicated, and a lot of them, you just pee it out. So I'm trying to stick to the uh, ones that I think that I really need. Like I personally take berberine. I started taking that because, again, my wife is type 2 diabetic and I heard it could help. And at that point, I wasn't taking GLP-1 because I've been taking berberine for years and years and years. So I figured, obviously gaining all this weight, I do have some sort of insulin problem. Uh, Turns out it was actually a GLP-1 deficiency. But, again, the berberine does help with sugar spikes and in a not the same way that GLP-1 does, but I figured anything could help. I take a stool softener preemptively, preventatively. I take zinc because I get a lot of sinus problems and allergy, and a couple of doctors said that you should be taking zinc. I take uh, D and D3 because anybody, especially female over 50, probably should. And what else do I take? I take black elderberry because they say I started taking that at the pandemic because it was supposed to be really good for fighting off any colds or any type of sicknesses. I'm going to look into if I really should be still taking that or not. And I take CoQ3 because even though my cholesterol is fine, the doctor isn't at the point where he wants to take me off the medication. I think he wants to see that I'm not going to gain the weight back and all that. And he said, somewhere down the line, we'll see about decreasing it. Uh, will I ever be off of it? Don't know. I'll leave that up to the medical experts. I haven't had any problems with it. I do know that it sometimes causes some leg cramps and stuff like that, which is why I take the CoQ10 because it does deplete your CoQ10. Uh, Diversified chickpeas and lentils. Diversified chickpeas. Let me just pop this up here so we all can read it. Okay, so we can diversify chickpeas and lentils, etc. But we're still missing in them the lysine and that promotes healthy skin. Like I said, there's just so many things. I do take collagen and biotin, which supposedly helps with the skin. I mean, if you look at all these ads, and like I've got suckered into a lot of them, I could be taking 60 or 70 supplements, but I'm not going to. Again, natural is always best, but supplements are there to help. Uh, I do have an appointment coming up with my doctor in a few weeks. I'm going to give him my new list of supplements and see what he thinks, but he's very old-fashioned, and like I'm really considering switching doctors, especially since he is about 30 miles away because I used to live in a different county, and like I've just been going to him for 25 years and haven't switched to a doctor up here. Part of the reason is because some of the medications that I need, the doctors here won't prescribe. I would have to go to a neurologist or a psychologist to get those along with them. And like, I really don't want to be adding more doctors, but if I have to, I have to because he's getting near retirement and he's just so old fashioned. He doesn't even really believe in GLP-1. He was not happy that I was on one, but it's my choice, not his. And if he doesn't want to be my doctor, that's fine. I did interview a doctor and go to a doctor locally, and she was tickled pink that I went, and I'm on the GLP ones, and that I'm taking the initiative to lose the weight and to keep it off. And she's all for it. As a matter of fact, my wife's endocrinologist, back when there was a shortage, we got her some of the trizepatide from one of the telehealth companies, and she was fine with it. She goes, "Hey, I'd rather see her on that than not taking anything," because it was hard to get then. Ask him about. Okay, ask him about it. I'm only a personal trainer, but please, India suffers from amino deficiencies. Okay. Do you have any recommendations for the daily amino acids? Since you seem to know a little bit more than I do, I'll look it up. More than happy to. Um, Again, like I could go into GNC and ask them, but they're just going to sell me their products. And like I said, I'm very gullible when it comes to that. If it sounds good, I'm going to try it. And like I have probably thrown out more supplements in my life than 50 people will probably ever use because that's just one of my weaknesses. I'm gullible. One of my a YouTube friend that I was telling you about that kind of got me to do a YouTube channel. Uh, her channel is called Coffee and Cults, and she did one on supplements and how it's most of them are a scam, and there really are no standards, and they don't do half the things that they say they do. They probably don't even contain half of the things that they say that they do. I tend to try to trust people a little bit more, but I haven't done any deep dives like she did. So again, I'm open to suggestions, and I'm willing to try things. It's as long as it won't hurt me, because most of these supplements you literally pee them out, so it's not like they're going to hurt you. Um, Always a good idea. I know Google is not a doctor, but when I start a new supplement, I kind of look them up, contraindications with medicines, because now, granted, I only take 4 prescription medications, so there's not a lot to look up to. But my wife, type 2 diabetic, COPD, arthritis, a lot of chronic problems, has a lot more medications, and some of them do interfere with them. And she's like super good. She's the one person that actually reads that whole label thing that comes with them before she even starts taking them. You know, Good for her. I certainly don't have the patience to do that. And you think I would, working in a healthcare profession, but I don't know, maybe it's lazy, maybe it's like, don't understand it. It kind of put me to sleep when I'm reading them. Maybe that's a good cure for insomnia. Read the label that comes with it, all the precautions and stuff like that. It's just like the TV commercials when they come on. It's amazing how fast they could list those problems that you could have. Let's see. I report bots to YouTube. Good for you. I do also. uh, or nine that your body makes. I assume we're back to talking about amino acids. So good to know. Do you find them in blood tests if you're short on them? Yeah, because I know when I see my doctor in a couple weeks, they're going to do a blood test. I'll ask him about it, get his opinion. I'll look it up. You know, if I find anything out and it's worthy of a video, I'll do a video on it. You know, why not? I want everybody to stay healthy. Uh, you report because YouTube is too lazy. A lot of people are too lazy. Uh, excuse me. On my friend's channel, um, I used to report the bots all the time because I was a moderator on our channel and like would try to get rid of them. And also, you know, when because she had probably at the peak of some of her lives was having 500-600 people on the live, and they were just a lot of them were just chatting with each other, and it was getting a little out of hand. I had to put people in timeout, and some of them she actually pushed off the channel, but that's a whole different thing. Uh, so yeah, YouTube is kind of crazy. These bots are everywhere. These, you know, just one little search on there and 50,000 ads come on. It's kind of annoying, but you know, that social media, what is it? Duck something or other is supposed to not report to the ads. I don't know if that's true or not. I've used it a couple times. I haven't noticed any ads with them, but you know, I have two browsers already. Some of mine are linked with work. I really don't want to have a third one if I don't have to. Uh, again, that's just me. It's gotten a little crazy. I wish they could do something about these bots. They're as annoying as robocalls, and you know they supposedly fix robocalls with a do not call list. And that doesn't work. So you know, as soon as if YouTube wasn't too lazy to get rid of them and did something, it would probably take them about a day to get work around whatever they do. So that's you know the problem. You know, it's technology, and if some of these people that are creating these bots and stuff use their power for good, we could have a much better world. But you know, they're not going to, so we just have to deal with it. Let's see. Putting out a video probably next week on are we eating enough? Because that really is a big problem. And once in a while, you should be tracking your food. You know, not 100%, but you know, like make sure that you're getting enough nutrients. Uh, Again, I use my Fitness Pal, and I track for a couple of days because I wanted to see what I had an idea what my actual protein was, and it was basically between, I thought it was about 120, and it was actually about 140, 150 for the couple days that I did it. My fiber was a little bit lower than what I thought it was, although I had to substitute another protein drink because they didn't have mine on their list. That was very close, and my protein drink had, I think, 3 or 4 more grams of fiber, but it was still a little low. So I got to work on that. You know, and it's a good idea to do that because again, now I know what I have to work on. My the fat in my food was okay, the cholesterol was okay, the sugar was low, the carbs were low. Most of my carbs I try to get through fruit and vegetables. Probably like once a week, you know, I'll throw a little pasta or a sweet potato, and I usually split a potato with my wife with a little bit of rice. But again, I'm trying not to eat as many carbs when I go out. That's a little bit different story because I have a little bit of grace on myself when I go out because we don't go out as often as we used to, and we probably won't. We probably will go out to dinner a little bit more, but I'm at my goal right now. My wife isn't quite at her goal, and you know, I don't want to sit there and eat something that you know she probably would want and is trying to avoid. You know, and she'll stick with the grilled salmon or something, and I'll go with the shrimp and pasta. You know, not real nice of me. I wouldn't do that. So just to kind of avoid that, we don't go off that much right now, but we will soon, hopefully. So let's see what you have to say. I report historically. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Yes, I do realize how important they are, and I definitely am going to look into it. And I thank you for bringing that up. Hope everybody's reading that because that is important. Your bots are destroying the world. Yep, but what can we do about it? I mean, hopefully somebody's doing something. I certainly don't have the intelligence to get rid of the bots. Yes, I could report them. Yes, I could stop them, but they just start right back up again. Because I'm very fortunate right now on my YouTube channel that it's so small that that really isn't a problem yet. Um, when I get bigger, hopefully. My wife just said, "It's okay. You have the shrimp and pasta." Thank you, Carol. Thank you, honey. Uh, I just use that as an example, but it's we're going on vacation probably middle May, so I'm sure we'll be eating. We're gonna try to eat a little bit better, but we're gonna probably do some not so good eating. But it's only gonna be for 4 or 5 days, maybe six at the most. So if we do bad a couple of those days, so be it. Like I said, it's a lifestyle. You have to live with it. It's going to happen. We're going to go on vacation. We're going to want to try the key lime pie or something like that. Now we've learned that we could split it rather than each have our own piece and, a couple bites or something. That's okay. It's good. It works. I saw another one of the big creators, Brittany. She just did a quick little, I guess it was a short showing that yes, you can cheat on GLP-1s and showed her going to Cheesecake Factory and eating a half a sandwich and having some more cheesecake. Perfectly acceptable. You're going to do that once in a while. Again, this is our new way of life, and you know we can't do that every day like we used to. That's what got us, into the obese category that we were in. But, to do that once in a while, sure, why not? Good thing. And when I did my interview with Lorraine, she was saying that her and Christopher share meals. A little bit harder for my wife and I because a lot of times we can't agree on what we want. And one thing that we usually can agree on, which is steak, and she likes it like blood rare, barely cooked, and like mine more to the medium rare side. So a little hard on that, but hey, we'll deal with it. There are places that we go out. Again, living in South Florida, there's a lot of retirees here, and we have a lot of delis, and they do have, a lot of specials where you could split your dinner. They'll split it up for you. But you each, for an extra $4, each get your own beverage and your own appetizer and your own dessert. Uh, Still a lot of food. So like by the time that we would get through the appetizer, take maybe a bite or two of the dinner. To me, the dessert isn't even that important, but you could always take it home, take a bite. We've taken some home, forgotten about it in the refrigerator. Again, way of life. What do you think, Carol? You think we could do something like that? Hopefully she's still there. She might be doing laundry at this time, so I don't know if she's right at the computer. So, any other questions you have here? Okay. So I'm getting some new equipment. I already got a new webcam. Hopefully the picture's a little bit better, a little bit more portable. I could do some fun things. I don't know if you saw any of my shorts. I did a really uh, s- time-lapsed thing of my workout at Hotworks. Do slow motion, could go underwater. Not that I'm much of a swimmer or anything like that, but I'm trying to make it a little more interesting for you guys. Trying. Hopefully, I'll be. My goal is to be as big as Christopher and Lorraine on the downsize because they just have a fabulous channel. I really admire them. Lorraine has given me some advice on my shyness and uh, being able to talk to people a little bit better. Basically, she told me that she's just basically talking to herself or to Chris, and if somebody else is listening, fine. So I'm trying to have a little bit of that attitude. So I'm thinking like I'm either talking to myself or I'm talking to my wife, and if you find that entertaining or interesting, great. That's the whole purpose of this. Uh, and let's learn something while we're doing it. So again, I have that video coming out on if we're eating enough, and I give you an example of what I eat in a day. And one of the good things about logging your food once in a while is like I was looking back and I'm like, huh, yeah, I like that. I haven't made that once in a while, in a long time. So uh, let's make that again. What the heck? So, you get some ideas. I hope you guys are enjoying my uh, cooking series. I'm working on some new dishes. Most of them are dinner in 10 to 12 minutes because I work long hours and I work pretty late and I want something light. And we eat a lot of fish. And then again, I had one of my subs saying, but I can't afford $30 for 2 pieces of fish. So I'm trying to get some of them that are a little bit less expensive. The other day, I did a really good stir fry, but that didn't take 12 minutes. I'm thinking of still possibly doing that because, again, we got 2 dinners and 2 lunches each out of that. So, it was very inexpensive that way. I tend to buy a lot of my vegetables already cut up just to save a little bit of time. I cooked the chicken for the stir fry in the morning before I went to work, so that was basically ready. So it took like 15-20 minutes once I got home and got everything together. Uh, so that's the way it is. It was very yummy. Thank you, Spooky. Thank you. Uh, So I'm going to continue with the cooking series. Uh, I'm going to be working a lot in the next like 4 to 6 weeks because we have, I know one person on medical leave and I guess another person is on leave. So we're pretty short. And, one of the sites nobody likes to go to because there's a mean doctor there, but I just ignore him and I don't have a problem with it. Um, but I'll still get my videos out. I've got a whole bunch of them that I've made. Any breaking news or anything like that, I'll probably do it in a live fashion. I may switch some orders. Uh, I'll probably like I do have one day off a week. I'm off Sundays, and I think like I'm off Tuesday. Some week I'm off Tuesdays, and some days and weeks I'm off Wednesday. I'm trying not to do. I think only one week I'm working 6 days, so I should have some time to do some fresh, up-to-date videos, but I've been working hard to get a bunch of them ready so that I can still do my video every day because that's my goal. If I don't get one, please forgive me, but my real job does have to come first. Um, sorry, you guys are very important to me, but one day you will be my real job. Not that YouTube pays a lot of money or anything like that, but eventually I am gonna work less. I don't really picture. I'm not the retiring type, unless I'm not healthy, of course. So I need something to do, but I am planning on hopefully in the next 2 years or so cutting back to only working 1 to 2 days, and then I'll have a lot more time for YouTube videos and because this is important to me. I'm already thinking ahead for my next channel, but that won't be for a while. That won't be till I do that retirement thing. Uh, So that's pretty much all cut up to date in the GLP-1 world. Let me take a quick look at what I have coming out. Sorry, just checking it on my phone. Content, schedules. Protein snacks coming out. Statistics. Now, I sent the outline to somebody to do a faceless voiceover video on the statistics of GLP-1, like men versus female and things like that, because I didn't really have time to do it. But I did set up the outline, so I do know what's going on there. Um, Things that you shouldn't do. Uh, Now, what do you do that you hit your goals? Change this here so we see what's I have coming out. I have a couple of cooking ones ready to come out. Um, I have one. What GLP-1 medication is going to look like in the future. And yeah, and some of it might sound sci-fi, but it really isn't. We're talking, and when I say future, I'm talking 2 to 4 years. I'm not talking like 20 years, 30 years in the future. And I know these companies are working on this kind of stuff, so it's interesting. So hopefully y'all will like that. Anything topics you want me to do, like I'm going to look into that amino acids. I'm more than happy to do whatever you guys want because I'm here for you. And I, also, if I can learn something in the meantime, all the better. If I could teach somebody, that's a win-win-win. So that's my goals. That's what I have planned in the near future. Uh, Thank you for joining my live. I'm trying to work with Christopher and Lorraine to join me on one of my lives. So hopefully they've agreed to it. It's just they're very busy. They got cruises coming up and so forth. Fortunately, like I said, you literally don't have to be at the same place, but you know how the internet connection is on these cruise lines. Even when I watch their lives, sometimes it's a little choppy and stuff. So uh, I'm sure we'll get it worked out. Hopefully within the next month. I'd love to have them. Again, I've got that interview with the cool sculpting place as to what they could do. I've had some people tell me it's a scam. Um, if I was when I was looking at my before and after pictures, yes, there was a big difference, but I'm also eating right. I'm also working out a lot. Even they said that you're the perfect person from us. What's actually causing this? Is it the exercises and the cool sculpting? I'd like to think it's a combination of both. I was a little bit more interested in the skin tightening part of it because I'm not ready to uh, be out of commission for 6, 8 weeks to have surgery to tighten my skin. I realize that my bikini days are probably over. I'm okay with that. If there's a little bit of sagging skin, fine. As long as it's not, super lot of hanging skin, which I don't have. I mean, I do have some, but not enough where like it's going to get infected or something has to get done. So that'll be interesting. And they say that they have things, procedures that they could do that help your body produce more collagen. Again, get their opinion. I'll do some research. You guys do your research. Does it help? You know, I've been in, let's see if I can show you this picture, if I could find it real quick. I've been in hyperbaric chambers trying to see if that helps. Uh, Trying to show you the cryogen. I've done red light therapy to see if that helps. Some people say that's only temporary, but if you could see this here. There's me in the cryogen chamber. I will say that helps so much with, oh, lost my thing here. So it helps so much with inflammation. I felt so good. So it's here. I felt so good. I was so tired after that. I mean, before that, I went to the cryo chamber for, I think it was 3 minutes. I came out. I felt like I was on vacation for a couple weeks. Come on, where's my face tracking? There we go. Face tracking back on. Okay. So, like, I'm willing to try things. I think the red light helps. You have to use the red light regularly. That's the key. Of course, what I get on Amazon is not the same as going to these spas that have these, $25,000, $30,000 machines. I realize that, but I'm sitting there watching TV. What the heck? Why not put a little red light belt on, and put it on my arms? I have, a couple different ones. I have one for my face that supposedly helps. One for the neck. One for under the eyes. I don't put them all on at the same time, but whatever little help I could get, I'm gonna try it. What the heck? It can't hurt. If it doesn't hurt, why not try it? And I do think that the red light helps. Like I said, the key to it, you have to use it 4 to 5 times a week, and it's not an overnight thing. Yes, in some of these spa ones, you can lose uh, inches and weight real quickly, but as soon as you drink something, most of it comes back on. And again, if you don't do it regularly, the results go away. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for our live. And I will probably do another one on Sunday, maybe another one in between. I will let you know. Thank you all for joining me. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification. It does help. And that's right.